New York State facts for kids. New York is bounded to the north by Lake Ontario in Canada, to the south by Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and the Atlantic Ocean, to the west by Lake Erie, and to the east by Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Vermont. Along the Canadian border and the edge of the Adirondack Mountains is the St. Lawrence Champlain lowland. Lake Champlain and the Thousand Islands, a group of tiny islands that lie between New York and Canada, are visible in this hilly region. Mount Marcy, the highest point in New York, is part of the Adirondack upland, which is well known for the Appalachian Mountains and its lakes, forests, and waterfalls. Much of the Hudson and Mohawk River valleys are located in the Hudson-Mohawk lowland, while the Allegheny Plateau, which stretches from Lake Erie along the Pennsylvania border, is home to the 11 Finger Lakes and the wooded Catskill Mountains. The drumlins are oval-shaped mounds scattered across the plain of the Erie, Ontario lowland. It reaches the Ontario and Erie coastlines of the Great Lakes. The Atlantic coastal plain extends with the ocean. Long Island and Staten Island's sandy bays and beaches are included. New York is the only state that borders both the Atlantic Ocean and the Great Lakes. About 5,000 years ago, Native Americans arrived in what is today New York. Native American tribes including the Mohawk, Cayuga, Oneida, and Seneca were among their descendants thousands of years later. The Dutch founded New Amsterdam, a colony on what is now Manhattan Island, in 1624. Then, when the British took over the region in 1664, it was dubbed New York. New York, however, became a U.S. colony following the American Revolution in 1776. The first president of the United States, George Washington, was sworn in a year later in New York City, which was the nation's capital at the time. Next year, in 1790, it would relocate to Washington, D.C. New York became the 11th state in the Union on July 26, 1788. Its capital was established in Albany and it goes by the two-letter abbreviation, N, and Y. New York State contains 58 counties across 47,214 square miles. The population across the entire state is roughly 19.5 million people. With almost 8.5 million people living there alone, New York City is the most populated city in the United States. The key industries are agriculture including apples, grapes, wine, milk, and cheese, finance, communications, clothing and apparel, fashion, computers, electronics, and tourism. New York is well known for providing building supplies like gravel, sand, salt, and limestone. Although garnets are employed for industrial uses rather than jewelry, it is also one of the best states for garnets. Additionally, only New York mines willastonite, which is used to make paints and ceramics. You can tour Ellis Island, where more than 12 million immigrants arrived in the U.S. between 1892 and 1924. You can get a bird's-eye view of the city when you gaze out from the 86th level of the Empire State Building. The building rises to 1,453 feet tall. It was named as one of the 7 wonders of the modern world. You can also ascend the 377 steps to the top of the Statue of Liberty for a spectacular view of the area. France donated the Statue of Liberty to the U.S. in 1886. Yes, it's big. The index finger of the Statue of Liberty alone is an amazing 8 feet long. Niagara Falls, which is on the border between Canada and New York, spills 750,000 gallons of water every second. In fact, a boat excursion allows you to cruise near enough to get wet. The headquarters of the United Nations is located in New York City. The world's largest subway system is also located in New York City. The track has an overall span of 722 miles. The state flower is the rose. It symbolizes love, passion, friendship, purity, and innocence. The state bird is the bluebird. In rural areas of New York State, the eastern bluebird is frequently spotted sitting on nest boxes, perched on roadside wires, and hovering over meadows. These activities have contributed to the species' increased population in many places. The state freshwater fish is the brook trout. Once common throughout New York State, brook trout are now mostly found in small streams and the headwaters of bigger streams in mountainous regions. The state saltwater fish is the striped bass. They can be found seasonally in the tidal areas of the Hudson River and within the coastal waters around Long Island. The state tree is the sugar maple. Sap from the trunks of sugar maple tree is used to make maple syrup. The state mammal is the beaver. Beavers can weigh as much as 65 pounds and can measure up to 35 inches long. They have a broad, flattened tail that can reach up to 10 inches long and 6 inches wide. They can also be identified by their large teeth which they use to chew down small trees which they then use to build their dams.
I hope you enjoy our videos. If so, please hit the like button and also subscribe to our channel.